Welcome, everybody, to SauvBlancTV. I'm Bryan Dias, the Executive Director of Summertime in a Glass, and I'm visiting with my friend and winemaker, Mark Clarin, and Mark is the winemaker for McGrail Vineyards located in Livermore Valley. How you doing, Mark?
Great.
Excellent, man. Thanks for being here today.
My pleasure.
Cool. Well, hey, Mark, what we're doing, as you know, is we're talking a little bit about Sauvignon Blanc for 2015, since we're here coming into the new year. And, just want to get your take on what your program's all about, what you're looking forward to this year, and maybe talk a little bit about the grapes that you picked in 2014 that are going to comprise the 2015 program. So, what are you guys up to, man?
Well, right now we're continuing with our rain dances. We had a pretty good wet December, which is long overdue. We're hoping for more rain through the winter. The vines are dormant now, so the more rain we can get, the better. As long as we don't wash them off the hillsides, I guess. But I'm not too worried about that. Livermore Valley, we're in a rain shadow anyway, so Northern California or north of the San Francisco Bay will just get hammered with rain, and we'll get an inch. So,
right.
Well, we'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So with the 2014, so we're talking about 2015, and you're, how the wine's going to look, and you guys do kind of what we like to call a quick turn approach to Sauv Blanc, where you pick the grapes in 2014, September-ish or so, and then that ends up in the bottle and on the shelf in 2015 in the spring, I think, is when you guys are putting your wine out. So can you maybe tell me a little bit about how 2014 looked for you guys as far as the grapes go, and then tell me a little bit about your program and what you're looking forward to with the stuff that's going to be out in a few months.
Sure. 2014 was a very dry year. We had about 4 inches of rain, I think, or something during the growing season. The good news is we were able to irrigate. We used drip irrigation, and so we can manage growth. The yields were pretty well balanced in 2014, and some grape varieties were down, others were even up slightly, but Sauvignon Blanc was right in there, exactly where we wanted it to be, actually. We picked, I think, end of August. Could have been right at the 1st of September. My memory doesn't go back that far anymore, but it was a good harvest and delicious wine. And then, I ferment in stainless steel. I do a little. I've done a little barrel fermented Sauvignon Blanc, but in neutral barrels. So this year I actually did 4 barrels, neutral barrels, and then use that wine to top the stainless steel tank up. The idea is to get a little bit more mouthfeel, but still keep it a fresh and fruity wine with no malolactic, and something that is going to be perfect in the spring when the weather gets warm and you're ready for a nice cold glass of fresh and fruity Sauvignon Blanc.
Cool, Mark. So just so we're clear, too, so you just do a touch of barrel fermentation. As soon as the fermentation process is done, then all of it ends up with the rest in the stainless steel tanks?
That's correct, yes.
Got it. So definitely, like you said, adds to the mouthfeel and just gives it a bit of width and some viscosity through the middle. That sounds fantastic. So when are you guys looking to typically, or when do you typically, or with this wine, when do you think you're going to be releasing it to the fans?
I would guess I'm going to bottle it in February. We like to get about 2 or 3 months of bottle age on anything we produce, minimum. And so I would look for it in May, early May.
Gotcha.
Which, yeah, should work well. We still have just a little bit of our 2013 Sauvignon Blanc left, but it's moving fast, and I anticipate it being sold out by February or so, maybe March.
Well, that works perfectly. So, tell me, Mark, what's the total case production in McGrail How much Sauvignon Blanc do you guys do generally, and how long have you guys been doing Sauv Blanc?
Well, overall, we're approaching 4,000 cases total, but our specialty is Cabernet Sauvignon. We have 16 acres planted to Cabernet, and so that's the majority of our production. But we started making Sauvignon Blanc actually in 2012 for McGrail. Prior to that, I was making it for Picasso Vineyards. And of course, I have a long history with Sauvignon Blanc in former lives. But 2012 vintage was our first foray into Sauvignon Blanc from the Gilmedi Vineyard in Livermore Valley. And we've continued to do that 2013, 2014, and 2015, hopefully. I don't anticipate any issues there. So we'll continue with that program. And then our Sauvignon Blanc program is about 350 cases.
Okay, gotcha. Well, since you mentioned it, Mark, I know the Gilmedi Vineyard is pretty popular in Livermore, and one thing I'll add, too, that is a topic for another time, is Livermore Valley is the traditional or historic home of Sauvignon Blanc in the United States, and we've talked a bit about that, and we'll cover that more down the road. But since you guys pull your Sauv Blanc from Gilmedi, our friends at Page Mill Dane there does, as well as our friends at Steve Mirasu gets his fruit, his vineyard. What do you like about Gilmedi, and what do you like about Sauvignon Blanc in the Livermore Valley?
Well, great questions. The Gilmedi Vineyard is, it's actually an interesting vineyard in the sense that it's pretty heavy clay soils. It's to the east in the Livermore Valley, and then there's a couple of different clones planted, clone 376 and 317, and those I think they do really well on those clay soils, and give you pretty classic Sauvignon Blanc. The style of Sauvignon Blanc that I like is the more the fruitier, the guava and melon and honeysuckle type or style, as opposed to that herbaceous grassy style, which Livermore Valley can do the herbaceous grassy style just fine, thank you very much. But I prefer the fruitier style. So I let the fruit hang a little longer than some folks do. That being said, we're talking about the difference between August 25th and September 1st or something like that. So we're still talking about a very early ripener, and then Sauvignon Blanc tends to yield pretty well. It's a very vigorous vine. Hopefully in the future we'll find the Sauvignon Blanc that is planted in a little bit more gravel. There's plenty of gravel sites in the Livermore Valley, and we just have to find that vineyard. But unfortunately, Sauvignon Blanc, as popular as it is with me, I love it as a grape variety, and I think it does fantastic in the Livermore Valley. 20 years ago or so, a lot of those vineyards were replaced with Cabernet, Merlot, and Chardonnay because of the popularity of those grape varieties. So, but we're working on it and trying to find the right combination of people to get together and find another site just to have something different. Not that there's anything wrong with the Gilmedi. I love it.
Great, Mark. Well, that's a great point, and I appreciate you saying that, because we're talking about the historical aspect of the grape in Livermore, and then these different trends that sort of go on to popularity of varietals. And the grape has been there since the 1870s, and we kind of get that whimsical thing where people pull when they think that there's a trend. But the climate and the soil, the terroir in general, just seems so suited for a Sauv Blanc, and it's great that you guys are embracing it. There's a cadre of you that are embracing it. So do you see, are people producing, is any more of it being planted right now, or is it really still a matter of space and trying to find some either new vineyards or replace some older stuff with Sauv Blanc?
I'm not aware of anything at the moment being necessarily developed as a Sauvignon Blanc vineyard, unless unless the Wente family is doing it, and they don't necessarily tell the rest of the world what they're doing, which is cool. I mean, you know what I mean. It's like we're 50 plus wineries in Livermore now, and I have a hard enough time keeping track of what I'm doing, much less what somebody else might be doing. But that being said, I do know that Wente has some Sauvignon Blanc planted in gravel. It's just a matter of working out something possibly in the future with them. It also has to fit our business plan. It's such a complicated thing. Winemakers want to just make wine, and they want to do all these really unusual things, and have a lot of fun doing it, and which is great. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't sell, then you got a problem. So we have to make sure that it fits our business plan. But right now, I would say Sauvignon Blanc is flat as far as production in Livermore Valley. And I don't really see it changing until such a time as we can tip people over and get them out of this, Chardonnay, which is the most popular white grape variety being sold today in the United States. So, which, I can't argue with that, but I personally like Sauvignon Blanc better.
Got it. That's great, Mark. Well, you've hit on a lot of the reason for our existence at Summertime in a Glass is to try and bring back the popularity of Sauv Blanc, and let people know that it's not just either, I think, in California, jug wine, way back when, historically the grape was ending up in jug wines, or more of just simply a French wine, where it's a food-only wine. It's a porch wine. It can be a lot of different things. And what you mentioned about the business model aspect of this actually segues really nicely into the last thing that I wanted to ask you, because it is a business. We want people to come visit you, and you have a great program. You mentioned your Cab Sauv, which is a fantastic wine that you guys do, and lots of other great stuff, beautiful tasting room. Can you tell a little people about, I think you have a wine club, how they find you on the web, tasting room, where it is, tasting room hours, all that good stuff?
Absolutely. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So we're McGrail Vineyards. So it's, McGrailVineyards.com, and McGrail is spelled McGrail. It's a good Irish name, if there's such a thing. I'm kidding. We're located at 5600 Greenville Road in Livermore. We're up on top of a hill, so we have a beautiful view of the valley. You mentioned the tasting room. We have, not only do we have a really nice tasting room and some great views, but our tasting room staff is really wonderful. We have a really great team that we're like-minded. We like wine, we like food, we like hanging out together and enjoying life. We like music, art. We do a lot of educational things at McGrail, like the Riedel classes and Roma classes and oak classes. So you come in and you get to taste Cabernet that was aged in 3 different types of oak, and it's really can be enlightening, and trying to encourage people that really truly love wine and want to know more about wine, because it's a pretty amazing thing.
Absolutely, Mark. Hey, that's really cool, and I know that your Sauv Blanc is near and dear to your heart, and I know that that's part of your program. Well, man, I highly recommend to people that they go stop by and check out McGrail Vineyards, McGrailVineyards.com if you can't make it to Livermore. But absolutely visit Livermore. It's one of the nicest tasting rooms. Mark mentioned one of the best tasting room staffs. Beautiful view. It's a great place. Fantastic wine. So highly recommended. Hey, Mark, I really appreciate your time today, man, and Happy New Year.
All right. Happy New Year to you too, Brian. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Take care, man.
All right, you too.